freedom, freedom, freedom over fame, freedom over cycle stays the same.
Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives, and I am your host, Bruce Anthony. Thank you for listening and watching wherever you get your podcasts and video podcasts. Subscribe, share, like, comment, and rate us. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at unsolicited_perspectives. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at unsolicited_PER. Watch us live. Now, watch us live every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Our audience continues to grow with each and every episode, and I humbly thank you.
On today's episode, it's a sibling happy hour. I'm here with my sis, Jay Andrea. We're going to be dilly-daddling a little bit, then talking about the South Carolina abortion ruling. And then we're going to be talking about Morgan and some random Atlanta dude. But first things first. Hey there, podcast listeners. It's Bruce Anthony here, and welcome to another episode of Unsolicited Perspectives. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately, the importance of staying hydrated and taking care of ourselves. Whether it's prioritizing our health and wellness, or gearing up for festival seasons, or just gearing up for whatever season or time of year, there's one brand that's been my go-to for all things hydration, Liquid IV. Speaking of health and wellness, let's dive into how Liquid IV can fuel your well-being. Imagine starting your day off right, feeling refreshed and energized. Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier is the missing piece in your daily routine. With just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. It's perfect for those early mornings, pre-workout boosts, moments when you're just feeling run down, or even after a late night or long flights. I absolutely love how convenient Liquid IV is. The packaging makes it easy to bring with me wherever I go. And let me tell you, it's become vital daily part of my routine. The flavors, let me tell you something, they're incredible. From refreshing sea berry and strawberry lemonade to classics like lemon lime and watermelon, there's a flavor for every preference. It's like a burst of hydration with a hint of deliciousness. Picture this. 1 stick of Liquid IV mixed in 16 ounces of water, hydrating you 2 times faster and more efficient than water alone. And with 12 mouth-watering flavors, you'll never get bored with your hydration routine. Plus, Liquid IV is packed with 5 essential vitamins: B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course, vitamin C. It's also made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, free of gluten, dairy, and soy. This is hydration at its finest. But it doesn't stop there. Liquid IV believes that access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. That's why they partner with leading organizations, finding innovative solutions to help communities protect both their water and their futures. It's incredible to know that Liquid IV has already donated over 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world. They truly walk the talk. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code UNSOLICITED at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code UNSOLICITED at liquidiv.com. Remember, folks, taking care of ourselves should always be a priority. So why wait? Head over to liquidiv.com, pick your favorite flavors, and experience hydration like never before. Stay refreshed, stay hydrated, and keep rocking those unsolicited perspectives. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. I'm just chilling. I messed up the title. It's what is it? The random Atlanta dude, Atlanta random dude.
It's Random Man in Atlanta.
Random man in Atlanta, Morgan. Well,
Yes.
that'll be in the third segment. You've had an exciting couple of weekends.
Yes.
You had your birthday party.
Birthday party.
You had dad come visit last weekend.
Yes.
And now you're going to Vegas for the first time.
Yeah. Vegas for the first time. So I'm very excited. We have a cousin out there who I have been meaning to go see for several years now. And
Right.
I've been making promises.
You and me both. Yeah.
But I told her, I promised her that I would come out this summer. So pretty much the very tail end of summer, I'm making it out there.
Well, doesn't summer technically last through September?
To me, summer is June, July, August. That's summer.
Summer to me has always been until you have to go to school.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Once the kids have to go to school, summer is over with.
summer's over.
Summer's
Yeah.
over with. Yeah.
So
So
usually June, July, August. To me, that's
okay.
summer.
Yeah, this is literally the last weekend in August because
Yeah.
next weekend is the first, I think, is Friday or Saturday. So this is the
Yeah.
last weekend in August. So I know
So,
she'll be
but,
excited to spend time
but,
with
I,
you.
yeah, but I made it. I made it in the summertime. I made it.
You
So
did.
it's down to the wire, but I'm making it. I'm very excited to go to Vegas. I know it's hot out there, but I was looking at the temperature and it's pretty much the same heat that we're getting here in Atlanta, except we have humid heat and they have dry heat. So
It's
I'm
going
gonna
to be
see.
it's
Yeah,
different feel. It's just
yeah,
hot. But the humid heat
yes,
to me always hits harder than just hot. I can deal with just
yeah.
hot.
I can deal with just hot. Like I'm fine with just hot. It's the humidity on top of that. So then, like I'm pouring sweat out of nowhere because of the humidity. Whereas a
Hmm.
dry heat, I might not necessarily sweat that much.
Look, let me tell you something. This summer has been the hottest summer of
Hmm.
any summers ever.
Hmm.
Next summer is going to be the hottest summer of
And
any
we used
summer.
to have southern summers where
Right.
it was hot.
It was hot. But
As
we're
children, we would be outside in that summer heat, the
playing
cicadas
and
playing.
and enjoying ourselves.
Yes, this is not that.
No, I yell at crypto often during the summertime and in the
Hmm.
wintertime.
Hmm.
Whenever the weather is bad, he wants to smell everything. He wants to take his
Yes,
time. I swear
yes.
he does that on purpose just to piss me off.
Roni is the most lollygagging ass dog when it's hot outside or when it's raining. She will not hustle up. If it's cold, now if it's cold, she hustles because she does not like the cold. But if it's hot out or it's raining or something, I just don't want to be outside, it's bugs, something, that's when she wants to sniff every blade of grass that's available to her. Every pine cone, every stick has to be investigated thoroughly.
Uh, we got to rewind because that phrase that you said is very particular.
What did I
Hustle
say?
up
Yes.
is a phrase that I used to use
Yes.
when I used to make you and our brother chase my rebounds when I was outside shooting the basketball. Our
Hmm.
brother hates that term. And this is the first time I've ever heard you use it in decades.
Yeah, it's not as triggering anymore. I think it used to be very triggering. Um, because I do remember uh getting your rebounds. Yeah, no, it's not as triggering anymore. I've grown up. I've grown
Yeah.
up, and now your hustle up. It doesn't have the same impact that it did when I was a child.
But you
Now I can
understand
tell
the
you to go to
meaning.
hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you understand the meaning behind hustle up. Now you
yeah.
understand why I
Now,
was saying it.
yes, a
I
hundred
needed
percent,
y'all to hustle up.
100%.
Uh what's going on in the news? It had the Republican primary debate
Yeah.
last night. I
I
just watched
wasn't paying
highlights.
attention.
Yeah.
It's I wasn't paying attention. Trump didn't even show up, which, understandable. He's got a lot of legal woes at the moment. you know,
I'll get into that something that dropped this week next. But yeah, for some strange reason, it's not a strange reason, it's an understandable reason. I don't want to watch it unless Trump is going to be involved. I want to just see the
yeah,
anarchy.
yeah.
But
It's
supposedly
just
there was still anarchy.
it's just a bunch of people fighting for second place at this point
Yeah, because
because
then nobody moved the needle
he's
last night.
no, and he's just leading with there's been indictments. Doesn't matter. He's leading in every demographic of Republican voter. Men, women, those who make above 100,000, those who make under 100,000. He's leading among college educated, non-college educated. He's leading in rural, city, and suburban. Like every demographic. So it's just a fight for maybe vice president. Maybe, I don't know.
I was talking to a friend last night. She's a lawyer, and she's the one that was just like, he's going to jail, right? And I was like, no, he's not going to jail. And she said, I have some friends of mine, and one is a extremely avid Trump supporter, and the other one I think just doesn't like Biden, so will vote for Trump, but I'm not sure. I don't want to ask. But they're really educated, and I don't understand it. And I was like, oh, I do. She was like, you do? How do you understand it? I said, oh, okay. Yeah, no. If you're educated and you support Trump, you're just basically a racist or a bigot or a misogynist. That's basically
Yeah,
he stands for everything that you want to stand for. If you're educated and you still support him, that's who you are. And for those
yeah.
people that are on YouTube right now that's going to leave a comment like, that's racist saying I'm racist. No, it's not. Y'all are
No,
idiots.
calling out racism or asking people to take accountability is does not make you the thing that you're asking them to be accountable to.
Yeah,
It
well,
just doesn't.
people are just stupid. People
Yeah.
are just stupid. But so you bring up Trump's woes,
Hmm.
and one of the key witnesses in his indictment for the classified files basically switched his not his story. So his name is, I don't know, Travis, Mr. Travis. All right. He's an information technology worker who oversaw the surveillance camera footage at the former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property. Initially, he testified to a grand jury in Washington, D.C. that he was unaware of any effort to erase the videos. However, after switching from an attorney paid for by the Trump Political Action Committee to a lawyer from the Federal Defender's Office in Washington, he retracted his prior false testimony and detailed alleged effort to tamper with evidence related to the investigation of handling of the classified information stored at Trump's Florida home. His reversal led directly to new charges against Trump by the special counsel Jack Smith's prosecution, included in a superseding indictment issued by the federal grand jury in Miami last month, detailing the alleged efforts to erase security camera recordings. So,
Mm.
so dude was like, "Look, I lied in front of the grand jury. What's that mean? Like, what's that mean? Oh, you're gonna go to jail. I'm gonna go to jail.
I'm gonna go to
No,
jail.
no, 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 no. And Trump's lawyer was like, oh, don't worry, you won't go to jail. And he was like, I need a new lawyer. And when he got
Yeah.
his new lawyer, he was like, look, I lied to y'all. Like, can I just tell y'all the truth and not go to jail? I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened, but I'm
No,
probably,
that's pretty
um,
much
I'm
exactly what
pretty,
happened.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that he was like, look, I don't want to go to jail. So let me just tell y'all the truth and will I be good to go? And then it was like, if you're willing to testify, we could work out something. Well, let me just say that my previous statement, I lied on that. And here's
Right.
the truth. They was trying to tamper with some stuff. And I testified in front of the Bible, Jesus, Jehovah, Mohammed, whoever y'all need me to testify in front of, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Listen, hey, listen, can I tell y'all the truth? Can I tell y'all the truth? Listen, everything I said before, mm-mm. Let me tell y'all the truth. Hey, everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. Sit down. Let's order some lunch. Let's let's get let's get real. That would be me. First
Yeah,
of all, I would have
look,
told the truth from the beginning because I ain't going to. Even the threat of jail, I'm not going for nobody. Period.
everybody that's rocked with Trump has gone to jail.
Yes,
Everybody, they going to jail. I don't know what he be doing that makes people so loyal. I'm saying
I
he
really
had
don't
people
know.
be bewildered, bewitched. He just
It feels
has
like a cult. It feels like a cult.
oh yeah, his people are
Yeah,
absolutely a cult. I mean,
yeah.
that's absolutely a cult. But
Mhm.
yeah. But he got some legal woes, but guess what? He still ain't going to jail.
No, no.
He's still going to be the Republican nominee,
Probably yes.
and he's got a good chance of being reelected.
I mean, it's crazy because this is so unprecedented, but we should really start thinking about setting a precedent that if you are currently facing criminal charges, you can't run for president.
I agree and
Like that,
disagree at the same time.
no. How do you disagree? Because that seems pretty clear. Like if you got a RICO case, you can't be president of the United States.
Because, all right, so for instance, the Republican House is already trying to bring up a committee to investigate the DA in Atlanta, right?
Mhm.
So anything that people are trying to do to get the truth out against Trump, the House, which is led by a majority of the GOP, the Republicans, are going after these people. Don't you think if we had set a precedent where if you are investigated or being charged with any crimes, that Republicans would use that to their advantage to knock out any Democrats that were actually running that could win? When it comes to dirty pool, conservatives have always been really good at dirty politics. They've always been really good at that. I don't want to give them any
Yeah.
more bullets in the
Yeah,
chamber.
but I mean, the reverse is also true. If we don't do anything, then it's a bunch of criminals running for public office and being voted in by people
Oh,
who don't care that they're criminals.
how is that new?
So
How
it's
is that
not
new?
new. I'm
It's not
saying
new.
it's not new, which is why I'm saying we need to set up something needs to. I don't think we should let the threat of people misusing it stop us from doing what is essentially the right thing. That if you got a RICO case, okay, if you are, I mean, state, federal, they hitting them everywhere. Okay,
Yeah,
if
they
you
are.
got like, you shouldn't be able to be president of the United States. I get it. There's a job where there's really no prerequisite. Like, you
There is
can't
no
say,
prerequisite.
yeah, you can't say, well, I have experience running countries. Like, most people don't have that. So I get that
Well,
it's a job that really don't.
the very first president of the United States had no experience running any type of government. He was a general.
Exactly. Right. Right. Like,
So
none of them ever really have experience running an entire government. None of them unless it's
well,
their
no,
second term.
if you're a governor is like a president of a state. It is
Yeah,
a
but
president of a state.
nobody has experience running a country, let me say. Like,
Okay, not a country, but a state.
yeah.
A state. You be
It's
governing.
completely different though. You're commander in chief
The
of
only difference is you have control over the military.
right. That's a big deal.
A
And
larger,
and,
a
and
larger thing of the military.
you're dealing with both foreign and domestic policy, like as
The-
opposed to just your
Okay, so
state.
you have control over the overall military and foreign policy. Yes. But I'm
Hmm.
saying, like, if you're a governor and you try to run for president, that seems like the most logical next step.
Yes. Yeah.
Or, I mean, I guess a
But my
senator.
point is I get that there's really not many rules. There are some rules, but there's not many rules because this is just a job you can't truly prepare for. But
No.
you got to think a RICO case has got to be up there. And
But the Rico case, I mean, that's funny, that's splashy, right? To me,
yes,
that's not the most important thing. The
I
most
just
important
like
thing was,
saying it.
yeah, I know, I mean, and it's your state. But the most
Yeah.
important thing is those classified documents.
Hmm.
Now that my man turned snitch, I
Yeah.
mean, he's snitching. I would snitch too. Look,
I was
I'm not
snitched
above,
immediately.
but I'm not above snitching over a lot of situations.
Yeah. No, I was snitch
So
on you. I'm going to be honest with you.
I've snitched on you
Yeah, you have. So I
repeatedly.
mean, well, let me see. Would I snitch on you? If I'm
It-
implicated, yes, I would snitch on you. If I'm not implicated in anything, like if the police is just like, "Where's Bruce?" I'd be like, "I don't know."
Okay, yes,
You
but I'm
know?
talking. Would you snitch on me? Would you snitch on me if we both did a crime and you got caught and I got away?
Nah, I would just take that
Okay,
L. Yeah.
so but if I did something and you got brought into it and you was like, I ain't had nothing to do with it, he right over
Yeah.
there. Yeah, no,
Yes. Yeah. I'm telling.
I wouldn't snitch if me and you did something and I got caught. I'm keeping my mouth shut. But if
Yeah.
you did something and they like, hey Bruce, you facing jail time. I'm like, Jay is
Right.
right down the road. I'll
Right.
take you to her right now.
You're facing accessory after the fact type of charges. Yeah, I'm not going. No.
No,
No.
the,
If I did something and I got caught, okay, I'm gonna take that L. If
yeah,
you just happen to get away because you ran faster than me, then it is what it is. They always gonna just wonder who was the second person,
they
right?
always gonna wonder. Yeah,
They're never gonna know. But if I ain't had nothing to do with it and you just hell no.
Yeah,
Listen, and
the
y'all can
only
say what
person.
y'all want about me. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, look, to me, that's not snitching. That is,
It's not snitching.
I'm getting in trouble for something that I didn't do.
Yeah.
That's not snitching.
I'm
That is,
saving
look,
my ass. I'm saving
now,
my ass.
now, if I get hemmed up and I start telling on other people doing other stuff, now that's
Right.
snitching. See,
That's
this
snitching.
people nowadays don't know, they don't understand what snitching actually is.
Snitching is you got caught doing something you did. And so you're gonna start throwing other people under the bus to try to get out of either get out of what you did or lessen the penalty for it.
Yes,
That's
that's
snitching.
snitching. That's snitching. All this other stuff where they was like,
All that
nah,
other
man,
stuff
he
ain't snitching.
right. No, I mean, I'm not going to voluntarily give, if I know
No.
somebody is robbing, I'm not going to voluntarily give up info. Prime example,
You gotta come
prime
find me
example,
and ask me.
the office, the office in my building is a non-smoking building.
Mhm.
You cannot smoke in your apartment, on your balconies. There are smoking sections outside of the building. That's where everybody's supposed to smoke.
Yeah.
Do people pay attention to that rule? No.
Obviously not.
Since I'm not directly affected by any cigarette smoke from any people, that nobody that lives around me smokes,
Mhm.
so I don't smell anything, but other people do. But where I do smell something is weed smoke. Now, I know
Mhm.
what you're saying to yourself, Bruce, you smoke weed. Why would weed smoke bother you? Well, weed smoke bothers me when I'm not smoking weed.
Yes.
When I'm
When
just
when I'm out and other people are enjoying, that pisses me off. And
yes.
that makes me want to tell.
Well, because weed doesn't smell good.
Yes, it
It
does.
no, it stinks. That's
Some
the reason why. That's the reason why I say
if
you got that stank.
you got that loud that stank, then
Yeah.
yeah, yes. But
So
sometimes no.
I always have my window open, and I like to sit on my balcony. And one of
Yeah.
my neighbors likes to smoke weed on their balcony. And I don't mean this a little bit. They wake and bake every morning. Sometimes I can smell it in the afternoon and in the evening. They're for real pothead. It
Yeah.
bothers the hell out of me. And if I catch them, I'm gonna kick their ass.
Mhm.
If you're watching right now, let me look in the camera. If you're
Yeah.
watching right now and you know who you are, when I catch you, it's an ass whooping coming your way. I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna do nothing, but just whoop that ass immediately on site. But the office is sending out these emails like, hey, just to remind you guys, this is a non-smoking building.
Yeah.
So I went to the office and I said, hey, a lot of people probably don't check those emails. Y'all might have to go old school and slide a notice up underneath the door. And they were like, well, do you know anything? And I was like, do I know anything? Like, how? Like, do you know who's smoking? I was like, I'm on my balcony sometimes and I see people smoking or whatever. Well, who is it? I was like, nah, I ain't no snitch. Y'all gonna just have to
Yeah.
catch him. Well, how are we
Yeah.
gonna catch him if nobody speaks up? I was like, I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it.
Can't do it.
If it bothers me, I will deal with it directly.
Right.
I will deal with it directly, but I
But I'm
can't be
not gonna
going
bring the
telling.
authority. I'm not gonna bring the authorities in if I don't have to bring the authorities in.
I'm not gonna bring the authorities in.
If I could deal with it myself, I'll deal with it myself. Like I'm not gonna bring them. No, we're not gonna call the police if we don't have to.
Now, for instance, though, if I start to get blamed, if my neighbors think it's me that's smoking
Right.
when I'm not, then I'm telling.
Then I'm
Then I'm
telling.
telling because I don't have nothing to do with it, and I'm not gonna take the hit for somebody else. Then I'm
Here's
telling.
here's the moral of the story. When you make your problem my problem,
There you go.
then that's your ass. Because I'm telling. Don't make your problem my problem. Because once
That's
it's
right.
my problem, then all bets are off, and I'm telling. Period.
Well, speaking of people trying to deal with problems, we got abortion up next.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jay, they doing it again. I
Yeah.
feel like every week I'm having to come on here talking about how they doing it. And what do
Mm-hmm.
I mean by say they are doing it? Yesterday, August the 24th or 23rd. I don't know when this happened. I know when yesterday
23rd,
was.
because today is the 24th. So
Okay, so it's the 23rd or the
yes,
22nd. It was a couple of days.
it's the 23rd.
23rd. Okay.
Yeah.
August the 23rd, South Carolina Supreme Court has upheld a law banning most abortions after roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy. This ruling is a reversal from when the court struck down a similar law saying it violated the state constitution. The law, known as the Fetal Heartbeat and Protection from Abortion Act, limits most abortions as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy, with early cardiac activity can be detected in the fetus or embryo. The law allows for exceptions to save the pregnant woman's life and for fatal fetal abnormalities, as
Hmm.
well as limited exceptions. Good God. It's because I had a protein shake and I can't speak, ladies and gentlemen. Uh,
I don't get
another,
the correlation, but
well,
sure.
because a protein shake is thick. It's like drinking a milkshake.
Oh, so then you turn it into mush mouth.
But yeah, I got the mush mouth right now, so I'm
Got
having
you.
trouble initiating, and it dries out my mouth. So now I'm thirsty. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, and they also give limited expectations up to 12 weeks for victims of rape or incest. Physicians who knowingly violate the law could face felony charges, jail time, fines, and have their license to practice in the state revoked by the State Board of Medical Examiners. Uh, it gets worse, guys. Let me
Hmm.
just tell you what the Justice John Kittredge wrote. He said that while the 2023 Act infringes on a woman's right of privacy and bodily autonomy, the state legislator made a policy determining that at a certain point in a pregnancy, a woman's interest in autonomy and privacy does not outweigh the interest of the unborn child to live. Why is all this happening? Because, like I said, they just overruled a ruling that they just did. It's because the recent ruling on this abortion is a reversal of its own decision just earlier this year. The court's change of stance's issue is attributed to the replacement of the lone female justice, Miss Hearn, with Gary Hill by a Republican state. So Gary Hill took over for Miss Hearn. So they got all males on this Supreme Court, and
And
now
that
they
is important.
overturn. And so, mind you, they just ruled on this earlier this year. This year has only been 9 months. So they changed their ruling. And just listen to what he said. He's saying the justice, what's his name again? Justice Kittredge is
Kittredge, yeah.
saying, yes, Justice Kittredge is saying, well, yeah, we don't want to infringe on a woman's body and autonomy. But we don't want to infringe on the baby's life. So that supersedes the woman. At
Right.
6 weeks, at
And
6 weeks,
and my question is, says who?
men,
Men, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Anti-abortion Republican men. Because how can you weigh one person's bodily autonomy against the life of an unborn child? The fact is that I got to carry this baby. It's
Right.
my body that this is happening to, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, all of the things. So, who decides that the life of the unborn child, which you can barely call it that at 6 weeks, sorry, it's a clump of cells, but that child's life supersedes one, my privacy, my medical privacy, and also my right to say what I can do with my own body. I mean, that's the crux of the entire argument.
Well, we live in a woman, a male supremacist society,
Hmm.
and and they'll quote scripture. They love quoting scripture.
Yes.
Don't want to follow the teachings of Jesus, but love quoting scripture. And they'll say all these different things, but it's always about control.
Hmm.
But it's so funny that the GOP is always talking about cancel culture when they are consistently canceling the rights of people that they don't agree with.
Yeah.
So it's not cancel culture. It is do what we want you to do. Do live how we want you to live. And that's the American way. It goes back to that Christian nationalism that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You know, it is them indoctrinating their beliefs
Hmm.
on others and forcing it. And here's another thing. It's always the lawmakers that are making these laws. They don't ever put it up to a majority vote. They don't
No,
ever let the citizens decide on this. They
no,
have a couple of times in like Iowa and things of that nature because they were like, well, these people ride with us and they believe that abortion is wrong and it should be outlawed. And overwhelmingly, the majority of the people say, no, we don't.
no.
I don't feel like I should tell another person to do with their body. Anybody who is sensible says, I don't have the right to tell you what to do with your life or your body.
Right.
That's on you. And if you're a believer in Christ, like a lot of these Christian nationalists say, who made them the judge? Last I checked, there's only one person, if you believe in Christianity, there's only one person who could be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, tell that to Christians who are probably the most judgmental. Um,
I'm not going to say
it.
all Christians, but a lot, more than a
I'm
few,
talking
more
about
than a few.
the political
Yeah,
Christian.
the Christian nationalists, yes.
Yes, yeah. Um, so this isn't about abortion at all. It's not about the
Mm-mm,
life of the unborn child because
mm-mm,
they don't care about children in this country.
don't care.
We've proven that over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a political talking point. It's something tangible that they can say that they got done during their administration that doesn't have any impact on them specifically in their own lives, right? It just affects the lives of women, particularly poor women, particularly women of color.
Sometimes it doesn't. I've read statistics. It's not just poor women out there getting abortions. It's a lot of people from all economic levels that
Oh,
get
yeah,
abortions.
but they can still get one. If you got the money, you can go somewhere else and still get one.
Where are you going to go to Mexico?
You can go somewhere else and get one.
I mean,
You could travel. I mean, you can travel to another state. You can go somewhere. If you got the money and the means to do it, you can go somewhere else.
yeah, but also it's not like abortion is cheap in this country. People think that it's
No.
like, oh, it's $25. It's a copay
Right.
to go get an
Right.
abortion. No, look at how much it costs. Like people,
Yeah.
they out there thinking that poor people just out there getting abortions right and left. No, poor people be
No.
having a lot of kids because they can't
No.
afford abortions
Yeah. Everybody don't have that $250, $300 or more to
or
do
more.
this or
Yeah,
more
because
to
it gets
do
more
this.
expensive depending on where you are in the pregnancy.
Right. Um,
I donate to Planned Parenthood. That's how I know all these things.
yes, we get the newsletter and it gives you lots of stats and it's very helpful.
And then I also do my independent research, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think I just take Planned Parenthood's research. I take them and then I'm like, is
Mhm.
this true? That's
Yeah,
what everybody should do in their life. Get some information. Is this true? Do a little research. That's all it takes. Google. It's your friend.
that's all it takes, and it's truly so much information at your fingertips. It's not like when we were growing up, and you had to get that Encyclopedia Britannica or go to the
The
library or something like
library. You, look,
look through microfiche.
back in the day when you had an argument with somebody about some fact,
Mhm.
there was no way for us to look it up in real time and go find out. We just argued around in circles about that fact. And a lot of times we was wrong. A lot of times we were wrong. We're not wrong now because Google is real easy to just type up, get what you need to get, and you're all set. But Jay, I read this headline and I was just like, I'm not a female.
Yeah,
I personally won't ever have to decide whether I want to keep a child in my belly or not.
right.
I won't ever have to make that decision.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I have the right to make that decision for another person.
Right.
And I don't understand why some people are so self righteous to believe that their way is the absolute best way and everybody should follow their lead.
It's because they're self-righteous, and it's fascism. Like it's like,
So
I mean,
so people
yeah.
always talk about the isms, right? And I
Mhm.
loved when Obama was president. and the Tea Party was a thing, and they would bring up he's a socialist, communist, fascist, and I was like, well, he could be two or
Yeah.
one of
I
those
don't think
things, but
you
he can't be all
understand
three.
what each of those things are
Right.
to know
And
that you can't be 3 out of 3.
and also, the fascism is a yes, they have fascist tendencies, but it's not truly completely fascism, because fascism, socialism, and communism, fascism and communism typically comes with a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
That's typically how that goes. Socialism typically doesn't have a dictator, because socialism is not quite communism. And stop throwing socialism and communism together. Communism has forms of socialism, isn't, but socialism doesn't have form of communism, and they're different. They're
Yes.
similar but different. But yes, this is a fascist state, burning books,
Mm-hmm.
banning reading,
Mm-hmm.
controlling your body.
Yeah.
We've seen this before in history.
Controlling the media.
Well, the media controls the media.
I think, especially when you're talking about extremist right-wing ideology, that is what's controlling the media, not the media itself.
I will say this. So the other day, just as an experiment, and I do this from time to time, I went on Fox News,
Mm-hmm.
foxnews.com. And I was like, all right, let me check out these headlines and what stories that they're featuring. Because I watch the news. The news is on all day long because I need content for this show, and I like to be informed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching the news, and I'm like, all right, these are the stories that are on ABC News. Listen to the channels that I'm watching: ABC News and
Mm-hmm.
NBC News, not MSNBC.
Right.
NBC News. Those are two different things.
Right.
And so I was like, let me go on Fox News.
One is journalism, one is entertainment.
Well, one is journalism, one is commentary, and you got to understand the difference
Yes.
between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't. They think the talking
No.
heads are giving them news, and the talking heads are giving you opinions. But I went on Fox News, and it was Hunter Biden this, Joe Biden that, woke. Oh God, you GOP and conservatives love saying the word woke. Don't understand what it means, but love saying it.
They love it.
It's you guys
Because
taking the word woke.
I think they asked Ron DeSantis and he couldn't define it.
No, they can't ever define it. And
No.
you know what? You know what conservatives are? They're your parents. Here's what I mean by that. Remember back in the day when we would have slang terms?
Yes.
Well, we still have slang terms. Now I'm at that age where I'm like, wait a minute, what's capping again? Is
Yeah.
capping line, or is that not capping? Like, can you explain that to me? But so the
No cap
GOP and
is the
conservative.
truth.
Yeah, no cap.
Yeah.
I get it now, but I'm saying when
Yeah.
it first came out.
Right.
But that's conservatives, right? They just hear a word and they don't understand the meaning of the word. They just kind of run with it and create their own definition of the word, just like our parents used to do. When
Yeah.
I used to say, hey, I'm straight.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm gonna take that. Straight is straight and great. Like
Yeah.
you cool, like you solid. And
Yeah.
then mom would be like, this food is great. And I'm like, mom, that's not how you use that.
It
That's
kind of
no,
is. It's
no, not.
not too wrong.
It's wrong,
It's not too wrong though.
but it was wrong. But so they took the word woke. So on Fox News, it was Hunter Biden this, Joe Biden this. They're criminals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nothing about Trump. They
No.
did have Rudy Giuliani's mug, which is funny because
Yes.
the main of the RICO man is
Yeah.
in a RICO charge, but nothing else. Nothing about Trump's indictments.
No.
Nothing about classified documents. None of that stuff.
No.
None of it. It's all woke this, woke that. Oh, a black man shot somebody. Like they love putting that type of news out there, but nothing else. And I was like, wow, if all you do is pay attention to Fox News, I get how you would think Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are the worst. And why you should be deathly afraid of black people and brown people. That's what Fox News is telling you. So it's got to be true because it's news.
Right.
But that's them controlling the news. That isn't the people. They're
That is
just
that is
sensationalizing what people want.
that is right-wing ideology controlling what controlling the media. And what I say that is in order to further that ideology, they are filtering what they show to the people.
Yes.
So it's
But
ultimately the ideology that's fueling it. And and the proliferation and the perpetuation of that ideology. And you can do that. You can control the way people think by controlling what information is available for them to consume.
yes,
Yeah.
I will say that I'm attacking Fox News. I also got to attack MSNBC because every now and then I'll turn on MSNBC. And look, I support Joe Biden, but also he's old as hell. And I don't like when he's up there speaking. I feel like something bad's going to happen every time he talks.
I don't know why.
Because he looks very much his age. Look, when you
Yes.
compare ages, when you compare energy levels, there's one thing I'll give Trump. Trump got that energy.
Well, we don't know if
Look,
that's supplemented by something.
no, he doesn't drink or he's never he drank because his brother was an alcoholic or something like that. So he don't
Yeah,
drink.
alcohol don't make you sharper.
No, but I guess in Big Macs work. Big Macs and fries.
Yeah. I'm
You
surprised
know,
he doesn't have high blood pressure and diabetes. I'd be
who says that he
surprised.
doesn't?
I
He
that's
looked
why I'm
like he
saying I
do
would be surprised if he doesn't.
with his old high booty ass.
Yo, he got a donk. That's one thing. Trump got a donk. I seen it in them little white shorts he be wearing at the tennis court.
So why don't somebody tell him don't put on them little white shorts?
That's what you wear at the tennis court. That's what you
Nah, you can
wear. No,
wear any other color but white.
somebody needs to tell Secret Service to stop people from taking photos of him from below. That's the problem. There's a way to
Oh,
shoot that where he doesn't look like he got an elephant booty. There's a way to
but
shoot it.
you know what's funny? He can eat whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants to his body. Nobody's sitting there trying to control him and his body.
No, no.
Sure enough, trying to control women and their bodies with this new ruling. And I just, I'm past that point where this kind of affects me, but like it, people don't pay attention to stuff that don't affect them.
Yeah.
And people are like, everybody wants to talk about politics. And anytime somebody says that, I say, because politics is important. You're
Yes.
like, it's not that important. No, it
Yes, it is. It
absolutely is
literally
important.
has an effect on every single part of your life.
Every single
There are
and
people
just
making
because
decisions that affect you directly.
yeah, not defect you, affect you. But I had to
Well, I
make that's
said I was trying to mix effect and directly,
yeah.
so it came out
But that's like the first
defectly.
time. Yeah, that's the first time I could call you out because you love calling me out every time my mush mouth says something,
Right.
knowing I got a speech impediment, just rubbing it in. Anyway,
Ain't got no.
that's my sister, y'all. She's a jerk. Anyway,
I
anyway,
never said I
like
wasn't.
no, you own exactly who
I
you are.
never said I wasn't. I am an asshole, and that is who I am, and I make no apologies because I don't
Uh,
apologize.
it just we talk about this a lot, and it just bothers me. It just
It's the hypocrisy, I think,
hmm
because there's nothing materially different about the band that they shot down. The only thing that's different is the makeup of the court, and that it's
yeah.
all men. So it's the hypocrisy of it that's most annoying about this.
That's my pet peeve, hypocrisy. But all right,
Mm.
that's what, and it's all these. It's just so funny. It's South Carolina, it's Florida, it's Arkansas, Georgia. Actually, did Georgia do any bans on education? I know they tried to suppress the votes. They tried to suppress
Um,
voting.
there was the whole thing about I think something about slavery being beneficial. I think that was also something
That
here as
that was
well.
Florida. Oh,
But there
okay.
was also something in Georgia about them changing the curriculum to take race out of Tulsa Race Massacre and things like that. So just
I
like
don't really
making
know how you take race out of Tulsa Race Massacre. Like
they
what? How
just
do?
call it the Tulsa Massacre, just the
Yeah,
Tulsa
but
Massacre.
okay, but like, how do you
'Cause
frame that where it's not race evolved? Because people try to frame the Civil War as a war on states' rights, and that's partly true. I mean that
the
is
state
true.
rights to own
Was
slaves.
slaves? Yeah, that's what it was. So it was a fight to own. So it was a fight over
Yeah.
slavery, and they
Yes.
to frame it, they said it was states' rights, and but that right was slavery.
Yeah. I
That's all
don't
they
know
cared
how they're
about.
going to reframe it. Maybe as an economics or class issue or something like that, as
Oh,
opposed to
I guess you could because it
a
was
race
Black Wall
issue.
Street.
But it was
Yeah.
definitely a race. It was definitely racial. It was 100% racial.
All right. Well,
Period. And the fact that people don't understand how intersectionality works, again, boggles my mind.
what did I call it
You
that
know,
one time? What did I call it instead of intersectionality? I said intersexuality.
intersexuality. I was like, not intersexuality. But it's the same thing. Like yes, it could be about race, economics, and class. It could be about all three, because all
Yeah,
three of
yeah.
those things are acting on people at the same
At the
time.
same
So
time. Yep.
yeah, it's called intersectionality, people.
All right. You know what? I'm tired of talking about depressing stuff. But since we were talking about abortion and keeping babies or not keeping babies, next up, let's talk about a woman that decided to keep her baby
Mm-hmm.
with some random dude from Atlanta. Jay, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one because you know more about this than I do. But you sent me some TikToks, and I've
Mm-hmm.
seen her before, and I'm like, yo. First of all, I thought just my misogynist ego. I was like, yo, she
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like she bad to me. She kind of bad. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, you send me these TikToks. They're kind of funny. But I'm
That's
gonna.
what you gleaned from that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay, I got a one-track mind. I openly admit that. But Imma let you explain it to the people out there, and I'll just chime in.
So I've been following this TikToker. Her name is Morgan Bailey with two eyes. I've been following this TikToker since probably the beginning of summer. She basically makes TikToks about being impregnated by a random man in Atlanta and just her struggles as a single mom. So
Let's point out it's not a random man. She knows who the man is. She
yes,
just calls him
she
a random
calls
man in
him
Atlanta.
random man in Atlanta. So this
Yeah.
was somebody that she dated. They met when she was 21, he was 30, so that will automatically let you know what the situation is. Whenever you have that big an age gap, he would say things to her like call her little girl and stuff. So you typically know when it's guys like that,
Now,
they're dating younger girls to manipulate.
I've dated younger women, but I've dated younger mature women.
Yeah, they're not dating young girls because they're worldly and experienced. They're looking for naivete, okay?
Okay.
So, she got pregnant. He moved her up to Michigan. And then 1 month, 30 days after she gave birth
Moved
via
her
C section,
moved her up or down from Michigan? I thought he was a random dude in Atlanta.
yeah, they were in Atlanta.
Okay.
He moved her up to Michigan.
He was just
One,
visiting in Atlanta?
no, they lived there.
Okay. Why'd he move her up to Michigan then?
For some reason, he wanted to move to Michigan. She never
Okay.
elaborated as to why.
Okay. All right. All
She
right.
was not clear as to why, but he wanted to move to Michigan. They moved up to Michigan. She gave birth 1 month later after giving birth via C section and dealing with postpartum. He leaves her, moves back to Atlanta, and moves in with an ex girlfriend. She is now a single mother. She makes a lot of videos about how depressed she was behind this man. But it's basically all of her videos are really funny TikToks about being a single mom, um, telling stories about this random man in Atlanta. She never, this is very important, she never doxes him. She never posts a picture. She never uses his real name. She always calls him Random Man in Atlanta, a random man from Atlanta. So recently, so she's amassed a huge following.
On
She is
TikTok, right?
getting on TikTok and on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, I think too, but on TikTok, she's amassed a huge following. Her videos get millions of views. So she's now she's monetized. She's making money now
Yeah, she's social
off of
media
this.
famous now.
Yes, she's social media famous now. Still never doxes this man. He decides recently to dox himself. He decides to come forward. This young man, I think his name was Jaquan or something like that. I'm
It
not
sounds
100% sure.
that sounds right. I've never heard his name before, but that sounds right.
That it sounds accurate.
It
Okay.
sounds this
It
sounds like some
sounds
shit a
like
Jaquan
definitely,
would do.
yeah, sounds like something definitely. So he decides to make himself known. Didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to. No one asked for it. No one asked for it. No one asked for it. And
He's trying
it's
to get in. He's trying to get in on that money. He sees money.
he accused her of clout chasing after him, even though that's literally impossible because she never tells anybody who you are. So how she could get clout from never revealing your identity is very weird. What it seems like is that you're clout chasing now that
Mm-hmm.
she's amassed a following and is making money to support your daughter, which you are not
Mm-hmm.
doing. He
Mm-hmm.
tries to give a whole bunch of receipts about how he cash apped her $16,000. Well, she presents her own receipts that he took her Cash App card, and this is all money. And it shows each text where he says he's about to use the card. So that money was his money that he's using, and I believe he still has her Cash App card. She should probably cancel that Cash App card.
Yeah, she should
But
probably cancel.
this is a situation where you have a hobosexual. He's basically a
Mm-hmm.
man using a woman for an apartment, a car, and a debit card. You see it all the time. It's those three things that they want.
Re-enunciate that again and re-give that definition again, because I know some people are going to be like, "That's not a homosexual." She said hobo,
Hobo. Yes.
Hobo,
Yes.
hobosexual.
Yes. A hobosexual is a man using a woman for an apartment, her car, and her debit card. Those are the three things.
And let's be clear, this hobosexual never says apartment. He just says apartment.
Yes.
I'm staying at her apartment.
I'm staying at her apartment. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't because he typically ain't got nothing going on. And it's true, she was footing the bill for everything. He lived with her, he used her car, he used her debit card and her Cash App card. So he outs himself, tries to give his quote unquote side of the story. It just makes him look even more of a deadbeat. Because she, of course, also has receipts. And this is playing out live on TikTok. It's all over my timeline. All over my timeline. And what I would encourage people to do not give his video any likes. I really don't want you to give him the views.
But I want to see what he looked like.
A random man in Atlanta. Truly, truly. And I think throughout this whole saga, Morgan has discovered that I think she thought she was baby mama 6, but she's actually number 7. Baby mama 6 reached out to her, had all the receipts and everything. Nope, she's number 7. Now, I don't know if she knew she was number 7 when they were together. Other baby mamas have come out and made videos in support of her and also corroborating her story that he is in fact a deadbeat. He could have stayed a deadbeat in anonymity. Like, he did not need. It's this crazy need to tell your side or to have your 2 cents or put your 2 cents in, or it's this ridiculous need to not just let things go. Because you did
It's
not.
about control.
Yeah, it's about control. He
We
wants
just
to
talked about it in the
control.
last segment.
Yeah, he wants to control a narrative that he did not have to participate in. But he can't sit back and watch somebody gain clout, gain fame, and the money that comes associated with that and not say something. But you just outed yourself to the whole internet that you are a deadbeat. Not once, not twice, but 7 times over.
This is the thing. Maybe he is going for. I know there's a number that a guy can reach where he doesn't have to pay child support anymore. And
I
I
don't
think it's double. No, there is. There's a number, and I think it's double digits. If a guy has like 10 kids, he doesn't have to pay child support because
I,
he can't theoretically afford child support.
well, he can't afford to because I don't think he has a job.
Well, you can't
He's
afford it if you got 7.
he says he's a motivational speaker, so that means he don't have no job.
Hey, look, he's motivating these women to have his kids.
Somehow,
So
somehow, some way, he must be
maybe
working with something. He must have some game. I truly don't understand, except for the fact that he goes after much younger women, um, with a certain level of naivete. That's the only thing that I could. He wouldn't be able to bag somebody his own age.
he
Not with
must
7 kids.
romance.
Let me tell you something. If I ask you, you got kids, they say, yeah, 7. And I ask how many mothers, and you say 7. That's the end of the conversation. I'm sorry. That's first of all, if you say 7, that's the end of the conversation. But
I know 7 is a lot of
but
kids.
but 7 kids, 7 I'm not about to assume that I'm going to be any different from the 7 women that came before me. I'm not.
Okay, so what's the number? What's the limit? What's the limit of kids and baby mamas?
I think 2 baby mamas, maybe 3, but I really feel like 2 is still a lot, but it's manageable. I have friends who husbands have multiple baby mothers, and it's doable. Like 2 is
Yeah,
doable.
they say it's a blended family is a thing.
Yes,
Blended
yes.
family is a thing. But when I say if a woman got 2 baby daddies, and I say no, I don't want to deal with it, I'm wrong. Women want to attack me. Well,
No, no.
what's wrong with
I
that?
think 2. I think 2 is fair. No, I think 2 is fair. Where you're just like, that's one too many.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like
well,
I'll
no.
allow you a previous relationship that resulted in a child, but 2,
Well, at my age, a person could have easily have been married 2 or 3 times.
that feels like a lot. I don't
I,
feel like we're old enough for you to be
I am.
now on
I
your
am.
3rd marriage
Oh,
with me.
I know I'm old enough. I'm in my 40s. I'm almost in my mid 40s. Almost. I'm still in my early 40s. But
That
yes, yeah.
that feels
Think
like a
about it.
lot.
You could have gotten married with your college sweetheart at 21.
Mm-hmm.
That not work out, get divorced in your 20s, get married in your 30s, or your late 20s, early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
That not work out, meet the love of your life at 40 and be married again on your 3rd marriage at 43, 44.
But
And you could have had kids
those
in
are
each
not
one.
baby mamas. Like our parents are divorced. My mom is not a baby mama. They were married.
They
That's
were
not a baby
married,
mama.
but dad always calls mom baby mama.
Even though we are full adults. But that's
Full
but
adults, like
that's I
full.
don't consider if you were married and had children and the marriage
But you're
didn't
not
work
married no
out.
more.
That's
You're not
but
married no more.
but to me, if you had kids in wedlock,
So now we're judging people if you have kids in wedlock or out of wedlock. What if they never got married but they were in long-term relationships? What if a person that is 43 years old like myself
I
was in a
said
relationship,
2. I
but what if
said
they had
2, and that
3?
a
What
lot.
if
That 3 is a lot. I mean, but
3
here's the
is a
thing.
lot?
Here's the thing. I don't have to. I'm not going to judge anybody for how they lived their life up until
It
this
seems like
point.
you're kind of judging.
No, I get to decide whether or not I want to participate in it. That's it. I just get to
Okay.
decide whether you lived your life the way you lived your life. No shade. I don't have to participate in it just because it is what it is.
True. That's absolutely true.
Like, no. I get to say 3 baby mamas is a lot to
Well,
deal with.
I think people don't understand. Like, I remember having a conversation with an ex-girlfriend, and she was like, "I don't understand where we can't still be friends." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to be your friend. Well, I don't
Right.
think that's fair." I was like, "You don't really get to decide what
No.
I want to do with my life.
No.
I've chosen I don't want to be your friend.
Right.
Therefore, we're not going to be friends. It doesn't matter if you want to be friends or not."
And why would you want to force a relationship with somebody who's not interested?
Well, I mean,
I get it, but
everybody
I
thinks I'm
don't get
cool.
it.
I don't know why everybody thinks I'm cool, but
You're not. You're
everybody
kind
want
of a
to be my
nerd.
friend. I'm absolutely a nerd. Like, I openly admit that I'm a nerd. I'm a person who likes history, video games, and comic books. Like, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely a nerd.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people think I'm cool. I'd really, I mean, I do, because I am, but, but I understand it. I get it. But
Yeah.
yeah, people
Yeah.
like, all exes, eventually they're like, "So you want to be friends?" I'm like, "No,
No.
you're a great guy. I know I am, but I don't
No.
think you're so great, so I don't want to be cool with you." I made a mistake. It
Yeah.
was me. I made a
Yeah.
mistake. I
Yeah.
have emotional trauma from my childhood.
And now it's just too far gone. Like at this
Yeah,
point, we've been through too much to now be friends. That's dumb.
they don't understand that. I don't know
Yeah.
why women don't understand that. Another thing I don't know. I saw some. I'm about to go on from the tangent. I
Hmm.
saw something the other day, and I was like, I wholeheartedly agree with this. And I know you're gonna feel a particular way about this.
Okay.
Women are always like, guys should open up, guys should share more, guys should open up, guys should share more.
Hmm.
But when men do, women get turned off by that because they say they want the guy to be in touch with his emotions.
Hmm.
But everything throughout her life has told her, strong man, strong man, strong man, strong man. Don't
Hmm.
talk about your problems. Man deals with it, dies with a heart attack or a stroke at the age of 50 or 60 because he's holding everything in. But
Hmm.
that's a strong man. My bestie hit me up the other day and was like, "How do you feel about women driving men?" And I was like, I feel just fine about it because I don't have a car. And most of the time, women are driving me, or I'm getting an Uber, or I'll drive their car occasionally. But now, and I never, like, that's not no big deal to me. You
Right.
drive, I drive, it's okay. I
Right.
don't like it. And I was like, I understand why you don't like it because you're used to your dad always driving your mom. Your mom never
Hmm.
drives.
Hmm.
You're used to that. So that's what you equate as a strong man.
Right.
Sometimes your dad might not want to drive. Maybe he might be tired. Maybe he went through it and y'all almost died in a car accident because he's sitting there trying to stay up because he's been driving for 10 hours and everybody else is sleeping. And so women say that they want a man to share,
Hmm.
but once a man shares, they look at him completely different.
So I will say this 99.9% of people are unhealed.
Hmm.
There's very few people that are healed. Everybody is carrying around some sort of emotional trauma. And we're also carrying around our own biases and things like that. Typically, the woman that asks the man to open up is not the same woman that sees that vulnerability as a negative. It's when the
Mm.
man says, "Well, women want you to open up," and then you open up and they don't want to hear it, well, because you open up to the wrong woman. And I feel like you knew that. Like I feel like
But
she
if
has
they
never
ask,
given you safe space vibes.
okay,
So
but they asked, that's true, but they asked, okay, why don't you ever talk? All right, you want to know what's going on? Here's what's going on. Ooh, that was too much. Well, you asked what was going
right,
on.
right. And so now you know where you both stand. And so now you got to
And
make a decision.
and that decision
And
is
if
okay,
and if you choose to stay with somebody who is clearly not a safe space for you, who clearly doesn't care about your inner life, then that's on you.
right. But most men, when they open up, I've long since gotten past this.
Yeah.
Long since gotten past this. I am who I am. Luckily, I grew up in a family with tough dudes who were men who also cried
Yeah.
over happy moments. I
Yes.
can't think of a man in my family that didn't cry over a happy moment.
Yeah.
And these are tough dudes. So
Yes.
you can't say that they were some weak ass men. They weren't that. So
No.
I never had a problem. There was never a question of my masculinity just by being vulnerable. And my
Right.
boys used to always joke on me, like, why you always asking me how I'm doing? Cuz, man, like, how you doing? You good? Man,
Yeah.
don't worry about that. I'm good. I was like, all right, well, it'll be the one time I don't ask. And then
Right.
something happens. And
Yeah.
because I've had that in my life too, so I'm always going to ask.
Yeah.
But also, I don't be sharing too much. So
Yeah.
women that I date, that is a common theme, except for one, because I did open up to her.
Hmm.
But the common theme is you don't talk. And I'd be like, cuz if I talk, you ain't gonna want to hear it. I know who you are. I know what you could take and what you can't take. You
Right.
think you want this. I know you can't handle that.
Right.
You want this. You want to stay in this lane. And that's cool. I can stay in that lane. I don't need to talk to you.
And that's also a conversation. Like when, and this is for anybody because it goes both ways, right? Typically men don't ask women to open up. Women just open up
Yeah,
and
women just open up.
they don't want to hear it. But if you do have a partner that asks you to open up, ask them, what does that look like to you? What does me
Ooh,
opening up look like to you?
that's good. I never even thought
Because
of that.
yeah, because if me opening up is me literally bearing all of my wounds, but for you, it's me just telling you about my day and including you in my day-to-day life, then we need to get on the same page about that.
You know what? Now that I think about that, I think most of the time when a woman was like, you don't talk, they just wanted to hear about my day to day life
Yeah.
and the superficial stuff. Like, what did you
Yeah.
do today? And I
Yeah.
want to just say the same thing I did yesterday.
Yeah.
My days don't change. There was nothing that happened.
But it's more about you proactively including them and not a reaction to them asking you, how was your day? Include me in your life, but that you think about daily contacting them on your own and saying, here's what I did today. Here's what I'm thinking about doing tomorrow. Would you like to go here this weekend? And
Those
including
are
people in your day-to-day life.
those are three completely different things that you lumped into one thing. You're talking about how my day was, one, how my what my day looks like tomorrow, two, do you want to have plans, three.
Yeah, it's called a
Most
conversation. It usually involves several different topics.
no, but there are different layers to that. One is talking about how my day went. One
Yeah.
is talking about what I have planned tomorrow, or what my next day looks like. And another one is, hey, do you want to get together?
Yeah, it's
One and
called
two don't one and two
no,
don't include three.
but these are all parts of your life. And it's also including that person in on your life. Most of the time when people are like open up and talk, it's open up, comma, and talk. Like they're like I just want to be clear that I'm not saying open up by talking, but open up and also talk. So they're talking about including them actively in your life. They're not talking about share with me your mother wound. Like nobody's talking about that. Let's do shadow work together. They probably not
Most
talking
people
about that.
most people don't even know what their shadow is. Most people don't know what their wounds from their childhood are because most
Right.
people ain't out here going to therapy
Because
like they should.
99.9% of people are unhealed. So when they're asking you to open up, they're not talking about that. What they're talking about is they're tired of getting the WID text. And that's really all that good morning, good night, WID. And that's really all that they get from you. They're talking about
That text.
include me in your life, include me in your daily life by
Ah,
telling me what's going on and including me in decisions you make, and like let's be a couple in that way, because otherwise we're just two people who know each other and mess around sometimes. Like other than that, we're not in a relationship. In a
right.
relationship we have to relate to each other.
Yeah, that's true. Jay, you dropped some jewels on here. What you going to
Yeah,
therapy or something?
yeah, you know it.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Consistently.
Yeah, maybe we should do it there.
Consistently. Yeah. And I know that I'm not prepared to do any of the things that I've said, which is why I'm not in a relationship currently, because
Yeah,
I already know. I already know what you're looking for. I know I am not in a position to give it to you because I don't want to, and therefore I will not be dating you. Period.
Childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma.
I'm
All right,
toxic, but I'm
sis.
toxic on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already
No,
know
I
I'm
don't know what
toxic.
you're saying.
No, I'm toxic. So I'm toxic on my own.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I don't
You be
spread it
gaslighting.
around. I
You be
try not to
gaslighting
spread
and
it
stuff like
around.
that.
Yeah. I try not
Yeah,
to
I know.
spread that around.
I remember you as kids growing up. I know who
Mm-hmm.
you are. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's who you are. All right, Jay. What do you want to tell the people out there?
If I didn't use your name, just shut up. Like, just sit back and mind your business because I didn't use your name. You didn't have to out yourself. If I am not using your name, you can just ignore me like you've been ignoring our child
You, you hear that, Jay Quellen?
or whatever your name is, sir.
Jay Quellen. All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Once again, go and log on to our webpage at unsolicitedperspectives.com. You can catch all our videos, all of our podcasts,
Get some
our
merch.
blogs, and our merch. That's right, and our merch. It's the same shirts that's been on there for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to add more when they sell more, but also I have a lot of time to design them. So if you guys have designs of stuff that you would like, go ahead and email us at unsolicitedperspectives@gmail.com. But until then, as always, I'll holla. Thank you for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and donate. Donations help us keep giving you this free content each and every week. Until next time, Audi 5000. Peace.